Alright, so this is the homemade waste oil furnace out in the garage. And that's just an old coal stove, and this is the apparatus here. You got the burner tube going in sideways, got a supply cup on top, and a sump that stores a certain amount of oil, and there's a hose that runs along the wall here. Eventually ends up at this larger pail, which is basically our day tank. And it's fed by siphon feed. It just seeks its own leveled oil, and it runs on compressed air and just enough electricity to run the spark box. So here's that's the setup out of a Beckett burner. You can see the original oil nozzle up in there with the tube that drips oil onto it. So that only takes air. Only air goes through that. As you can see here from the connections, air goes up to that nozzle, and air also goes down to a percolator type setup that bubbles the oil up through that steel line and puts it up into the top cup for it to drip down through a metering valve back onto that nozzle. So the idea is that the nozzle gets covered in drain oil, and it just sprays a vapor of it off through this tube and into the stove. And into the stove, here I got a elbow down that's a real loose fit into the pipe just to divert some of the flame down so it tends to stay in the stove chest for a little bit longer. Alright, we're going to try and light the stove now. It's been pretty reliable lately. And so first thing to do is going to plug the spark box in, give it some electric. Wrong plug. There we go. That's the sound we're looking for. And I'm going to give it some air. This is just regular shop air at 90 psi. And then it's just pouring a pint of diesel fuel into the top. Well, I got to put a paint filter in here first. I forgot my paint filter. So the paint filter goes in, dump in the fuel, and she should light in a couple seconds after that. And the diesel fuel acts as a primer, so that way until it gets hot, it runs on diesel fuel, and after it gets hot, it'll run on straight drain oil without any trouble. And then you can control the intensity of the flame with the valve. And you can see it burns with relatively little smoke. It's still got a lot of diesel fuel in it, and it's still cold. So once it gets up to temperature and and everything's right in here, next to no smoke at all. So I'm pretty happy.